Hello and welcome to the third How I Safari review that I am filming today. I'm hoping to get 5 done, so after this we're going to be over halfway done with this batch, and hopefully you're enjoying some probably fairly frequent uploads. So anyhow, today we're looking at the Woolly Rhino from last year, or the Coelodonta, if we want to call it by its genus name properly and be all smart about our Cenozoic mammals. So anyhow, of course, as always, if you would like to purchase this beautiful model or any of Safari's products, you can do so at SafariLtd.com or at Amazon.com/SafariLtd. And of course, you can still use the coupon code Bionic for a bit of a discount off your order. So you can be all frickin' smart and hip with the kids. So anyhow, today we're looking at one of my favorite Safari figures that I have gotten in a while. This is a beautiful looking mammal figure. As you can see, it just has this very impressive sort of stance to it. Very bulky and shaggy and furry and just, yeah, it looks just powerful and fearsome for a herbivore, and yeah, it just has a really impressive overall kind of aesthetic style to it. The fur looks great. Sometimes the fur length on Safari figures can be a little too consistent for my taste, like for instance the Mastodon pretty much has the exact same length of fur over the whole thing, and you know, that's probably accurate. Like, to the credit of the sculptor, Mastodon probably was relatively consistent with its fur or hair length, but just a little bit of variation adds a lot of life to me, and this figure does have a bit more variation. Slightly longer hair or fur, you can see on the leg there. I keep going back and forth between saying hair or fur because I'm not sure which is correct, because I know like mammoths it's actually hair, not fur. Or is it the other way around and then it's hair on... I don't know. I remember hearing something about this a while ago, and it's now made me... it's given me a terrible lack of confidence in my Cenozoic mammal integument terminology, but anyhow, the biggest variation in hair length comes around the shoulder area with this awesome big patch of long, shaggy fur, and that just... it's really well sculpted. It looks really nice, adds a lot of character to the model, and a lot of nice realism as well. Just looks great in my opinion, and yeah, the overall texturing is just really well executed, satisfying to look at, very crisp, and this patch of shaggier, longer fur is just the cherry on top as far as the fur texturing goes on this model. The pose on this model is a little odd looking from some angles, I will say. People have pointed out how like this leg is stretching really far back, and then these legs are close together, or the forelimbs are closer together, so it sort of looks like he's walking on the front half of his body and then running with the back half of his body, and it looks a bit unnatural and a bit stiff from some angles, a little weird. He might be kicking. If he is supposed to be kicking with his back leg and sort of standing in one place, like pawing at the ground and kicking, like if that's what the sculptor was going for, then that's actually kind of cool, but it's not exactly clearly communicated on the model itself, in my opinion. Still looks pretty good though. The pose doesn't really bother me, just thought I'd bring it up. Another thing I'd like to bring up is some people have criticized the accuracy of this figure because it doesn't have enough of like a stripe here, because there's cave paintings that supposedly suggest that it would have like a really dark stripe behind the shoulder. First of all, it does have some very distinctive dark coloration here, and second of all, if we look at the pattern of their sort of art style on those paintings that those early humans created, we can see that lines like that are typically used to delineate between two different colors on an animal. So like if you had, I don't know, a giraffe, instead of like filling in each spot, they would just make a line around it, I guess. Or if you have like a painted horse, you would just do lines around the pattern rather than actually filling it in with different colors. So in my opinion, it seems more likely that that line would indicate that the back half of the animal was a slightly different color than the front half, rather than that actually being a stripe. So it doesn't matter anyway. Stop complaining about cave paintings. I'm trying to think of anything else to say. Like, there's barely anything to comment on because there's like no negatives. I really, really like this model. I love the face. The face has a really nice look to it. Some very nice little eyes. They're actually slightly glossy and they just look really good. And yeah, he's got a nice kind of expression. He looks a little derpy from down here, but in a very lovable way. And I think when I first saw pictures of this model, I actually did not really like that the horns sort of were the same brown as the fur, but it doesn't bug me at all in hand, to be honest. I think it works just fine. The ears look nice. Everything about this model is just super likable for me, and I'm going to be giving this one... What's on my... Yeah, a 9.5. Yes, I had to check my notes for the rating. Okay, my brain is scrambled today. I'm doing great. No make fun. No negative feedback, please. Anyhow, here it is with the Utyrannus for a size comparison, and I will see you all next time. Sorry this was one of the most, disorganized reviews, but I barely have any notes for it, and I kept getting on random tangents, so some days, that's just how it is. I will see you on the flip.